So this is actually about a 20-year-old fantastic vent, and it still works, but the blades on this have deteriorated enough. So we're going to replace this entire vent motor. The motor comes with the new fan blades, and should be a pretty simple job. Got the new motor here. Comes in a great big box. That's their part number. And their part number again. Let's open it up. So they've redesigned this. They call this a pancake motor. It comes with the bow tie mounts, they call it. So it's a lot lower profile, but it should fit in all fantastic vents. So there's two ways of doing this. The easy, quick way is you just got the 4 screws, 2 on each bow tie. You cut the wire for the ground, cut the wire for the power. Yeah. You'll see the new one comes with butt connectors already on it, but I don't really like that. It means you have a butt connector right here exposed to the weather and a butt connector there exposed to the weather, and then that ring terminal generally gets pretty corroded because it's exposed to the weather. So rather than having a butt connector right there, use the same ring terminal. I like to change out the ring terminal and then also put the butt connector underneath right here where it should be. Right there. So that's how I like to do it. So to do that, again, I could use my angle adapter to get to these screws right here, but I've also found it's just as easy to take these 2 screws out on the lift assembly, and the whole vent will lift up. So let me do that. Alright, now with those screws out of the way, I can just hinge this thing back. Look at all the extra room I have now. So I'm just going to take off these plastic clips. A lot of times these are quite brittle because they're exposed to the weather. But if you can reuse them, that's great. This 7/16, just use a ratchet to unbolt that. The whole thing just unscrews out of the plastic. But this is the main ground, so that's why this motor doesn't turn on until the vent's open. It's a hood pin switch. So when the vent closes, it pushes this open and opens up the ground. That way it doesn't have power to the motor. And when it opens, it's spring loaded and puts, ground where it's supposed to be. It just pulls off. Alright. Let's get these done real fast. Get our wire cutters. Cut right there. And now we can pull the whole thing out. Look at that. That was so much easier. So I'm going to put this thing back down. Make sure that the wires on the base of the motor there will allow you to get this ground wire to the switch if you have it. So I have the wires coming out of the motor at the front. They're this way. It's usually a little too short to get there once everything's put together. So let me put some new ends on. We'll get this screwed together, and honestly it shouldn't be that big of a job. Anyway, put a new ring terminal on the ground there. Make sure you put the switch back through there before you hook it up. Otherwise you have to take it all apart again. Alright, that's where that little plastic comes in. There's actually just a spot on the arm right there where it's notched in. That's the only place it's going to clip on very easily. If these break, just use a zip tie. Alright, I just have to cut this end off, feed it through the hole, and do the same thing. Alright, well I got that wired back up. So that's connected back together. I like to put as few connections as possible on a wire. That's just my opinion. So just make sure you run it through there before you put the butt connector on, because you don't want it to go next to the blade. And then we'll put this clip on there, hopefully. Alright, now I just have to put those screws back on. To do that, make sure the notch on that rail to the front, you don't want it to come off. Alright, so we got it back together on the inside here too. This is a 2000 motorhome, so this is 2019, so about a 20-year-old fantastic vent. I guess we saved it for another few years, so let's go ahead and turn the fan on. That's just in manual mode, so that's going to be the speed. And there he is, running again, back to life. See if it cranks back down now at least. Sure seems to be. Also, we changed out the lift motor because it was a much older style and dead. All right, so there you have it. Beam of light shining right down on me. Replacing the fan motor on a fantastic vent. Really quite a simple job. The biggest part is just getting on the roof and not breaking the plastic. So if you can do that, simple job. Bye. So here's the old blade. It's a little bit yellow from being out in the sun for 20 years. A little brittle. And I'm sure that motor was a little tired. Yeah, definitely a good thing we replaced this. There we go. Hello! Alright, so here we go.